On the bench I have a Ten Tec Delta model 580. It's a transceiver I just recently picked up at a swap meet. When I got the radio, the digital display was erratic, and of course all the controls were extremely dirty. I corrected the digital display issue by just remounting and verifying the grounding on the digital readout board. So that was a pretty simple repair, and now she's nice and stable. But the main issue that I found with the radio is that in CW I could only operate on Vox mode. The push to talk function utilizing the switch on the ALC knob does not work. Ten Tec had these funny pull power switches that were integrated into pots. This one's broke, and it has exceeded its number of cycles. Unfortunately, this type of a pot with a switch on the back is almost impossible to locate, but I have a solution. Well, here's the rear of that pot with the switch on the back. You can see that the switch assembly has some little crimp over ears. Okay, so luckily for me, I went through my junk box and I found one of these pots. It was wrong value, but the switch was correct. So here's what I'm gonna do. So here is the disassembled pot switch assembly. This half I will not be using anymore. I will be using the switch with this little plastic assembly that snaps on to the rear of the pot shaft. You see that? And it just pops in there. And then they have a little gasket, and this just crimps on the back of the pot. So I'm hoping when I get the other one open that it has the same setup. If so, I'll be able to put the switch on the back, crimp it, and we'll be back in business. So to gain access to that pot, I'm going to have to pull the face off the radio. I've already had the knobs off and cleaned them, so they come off pretty easily. And I believe there's just 4 screws and the plastic bezel comes off. We shall see. Alright, face is removed. Pretty easy process. It had 4 screws in the corners and there's 1 under the VFO. She slid right off. So it looks like pretty easy access to that control now. Alright, it swung right up out of the way. To make this easier, I'm going to go ahead and desolder these leads so I can get this guy in a little vise and have better control over this process. Alright, there's the ALC pot unwired. And the manual specifies this is a 10K pot, but it's actually a 30K pot. This is the tricky part. These are little crimped over ears. You see they're kind of spread. So you want to carefully bend these back in and take a small screwdriver and pull them out away from the switch assembly, and this will slide off. Okay, the ears are pulled away. Get this switch off of here carefully. Still got a little bit of resistance. Here she comes. So there it is. You can see the switch is actually broken inside. Little wiper arm broke. Looks like the little plastic insert is still good. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm just going to transfer the other switch assembly right back on there, and we'll test it. So she's reassembled. I'm testing it right now using my Beckman 310. Look at there. Working like a champ. Time to put her back in the radio. Okay, here's CW mode operating. And if I pull this, she goes in tune mode. So she's back operating properly.